هذا التسجيل هو عمل تطوعي مقدم من مبادرة بصيرة للأشخاص المكفوفين وضعاف البصر بالتعاون مع المجلس الأعلى لحقوق الأشخاص ذوي الإعاقة. Action Pack 10 10th Grade Students Book. Extra Reading B. Great Muslim Inventors. 1. Abbas ibn Firnas. One morning in 852, a man climbed to the top of a minaret of a large mosque in Cordoba. He was wearing a cloak with pieces of wood attached. The crowd that had gathered below were eagerly watching and waiting to see what would happen. The minaret shone in the sun, and the crowd fell silent as the man stretched open his arms and prepared to jump. The man was Abbas ibn Firnas, and he was attempting to fly. He was already well known as a poet, astronomer, musician, engineer, scientist, and inventor. He was determined to find a way to fly and spent many years thinking up designs for wings to help him take flight. He had already tried to fly over the desert and hoped to fly successfully in Cordoba. The crowd held its breath as Firnas launched himself into the air. He flapped his arms frantically up and down. "He's falling!" shouted one man in the crowd, and true enough, Firnas began to fall quickly to the ground like a bird with an injured wing. The look of wonder on the faces of the crowd quickly turned to horror. However, as he fell, his cloak spread out like a parachute and slowed his fall. The crowd rushed to help him. Firnas was shaken, but not badly hurt. "Next time I will fly," he said. Firnas was a brave man, and despite this failed attempt, he was determined to try again. There must be a way, he thought. Birds can fly, why can't I? So, for several years, Firnas worked on improving his design. Finally, his new flying machine was ready. The wings were made of silk and eagle feathers. This time, the nearly 70-year-old Firnas climbed to the top of a mountain in Cordoba that looked out over the city. Once again, there was an audience who had gathered to watch him. Firnas was nervous. Were the wings strong enough to carry his weight? Would he really fly? He checked the wings carefully for the last time. Then he looked up at the sky, took a deep breath, and leapt into the air. There was a moment's silence, and then a cry went up. "He's flying!" Firnas was flying. He was soaring like a bird. Minutes passed, and still he flew, high above the ground, high above the people cheering below. A full 10 minutes went by, but suddenly, Firnas felt himself falling. There was no power in the wings, and he started to fall. He landed heavily on the ground. The wings were broken, and his back was badly hurt. "I know what I did wrong," he thought. "I didn't make a tail." Firnas realized too late that birds use their tails to help them land safely. Even so, his flying machine was the first to support a person in the air, and he became the first man to try to fly in a scientific way. Firnas's discovery about the role of the tail is still very important, even today. Watch any plane land. You will see that their back wheels touch the ground first. Abbas ibn Firnas activities. In groups, discuss the following questions. Number 1. Suggest another title for the story about Abbas ibn Firnas. Number 2. What kind of character would you describe Firnas to be? Number 3. Would you have the courage to fly just as Firnas did in a scientific way? Justify your answer. Number 4. Firnas had tried to fly many times over different places. Name the 3 places that the story mentions and put them in chronological order in the following timeline. Number 5. Research other people than Firnas who attempted to fly in their own way, or who designed a flying device, and complete the table. Tell the class about one of these people. So the table has 3 columns. The first column, name of person. The second column is name of flying device. And the last column, is this device used today for flying? So for example, we can put the name of person, Abbas ibn Firnas. Name of flying device is a cloak with pieces of wood, silk, and eagle feathers. And then under, is this device used today for flying? No. So think of other people who attempted to fly and fill in the columns. Great Muslim inventors 2. Al-Jazari. In a small workshop in the city of Diyarbakir in southeast Turkey, a man stands before a model wooden elephant. He is looking at a bowl floating on top of a large container of water inside the elephant. There is a small hole in the bowl, and as the minutes pass, the bowl gradually fills with water and slowly sinks. The man is watching carefully as this happens, and he smiles as the bowl reaches the bottom. The man is the engineer and craftsman Al-Jazari, and he is the inventor of wonderful mechanical devices, such as this amazing elephant clock. The device is based on water technology devised by the ancient Greeks. The moment the bowl touches the bottom, the tuneful notes of a bird ring out from the top, and the small Arabian figure starts to move. The whole mechanism is cleverly controlled by water and weights. The bowl pulls ropes as it moves down, and a bowl is released every half an hour. But the water clock does more than tell the time. It is the testament to the diverse nature of mankind, as well as the importance of and development in the Islamic world. The elephant represents India. The fire-breathing dragon depicts China, and the phoenix symbolizes Egypt. A Persian carpet, intricately woven, hangs over the elephant's back. The whole device is a delight to the ear and the eye of this master craftsman. Al-Jazari is pleased with his invention. It is perhaps the best, most creative device he has ever invented, and there have been many. Born in Turkey in the 12th century, Al-Jazari spent his whole life devising mechanical devices that revolutionized engineering. Many of them were inspired by ancient Greek and Indian technology. He was an outstanding engineer, and his elephant clock, with its moving figures, is the first example of robotics. We can read about his many inventions in the popular book he wrote in 1206, called The Book of Knowledge of Ingenious Mechanical Devices. In this book, he describes 50 mechanical inventions, including many water clocks. His castle clock, an elaborate water-powered astronomical clock that was 3.4 meters high, displayed moving models of the sun, the moon, and the stars. Al-Jazari also created candle clocks. Today, Al-Jazari's remarkable elephant clock can be seen in different shapes and forms in many places around the world, and he is considered by many as a mechanical genius. Al-Jazari activities. In groups, discuss the following questions. 1. Suggest another title for the story about Al-Jazari. 2. What kind of character would you describe Al-Jazari to be? 3. If you had the chance to invent a clock similar to the elephant clock, what would you replace the elephant, the dragon, the phoenix, and the carpet with? What would the objects you choose represent? Tell the class about your invention. 4. What types of clock did Al-Jazari invent? So we know about the elephant clock. What other inventions or what other clock inventions did he have? 5. Research places where visitors and tourists can see a modern-day model of the elephant clock.